Stop hating Denji is usually said as a reaction, but the real question is more interesting. Why does Denji get misunderstood so easily compared to other shonen protagonists, even when his writing is arguably more deliberate than most of them? At first glance, Denji in Chainsaw Man looks like a regression of the shonen hero archetype. He lacks a noble dream, a moral mission, or a clear ideology. While modern shonen protagonists are often built around flawed idealism, characters who still aim to save everyone or change the world, despite their imperfections. Denji starts from something far more basic. His goals are survival-level desires: food, comfort, and basic human connection. This is exactly where the misunderstanding begins. Many viewers interpret this simplicity as shallow writing, when in reality it is structural. Denji is not written to represent an ideal. He is written to represent what happens when a person is removed from the systems that usually shape heroism in shonen stories: honor, duty, legacy, or moral obligation. Unlike characters who define themselves through a greater purpose, Denji has no stable ideological anchor. This makes him unpredictable in a way most protagonists are not. His decisions are not filtered through beliefs or long-term identity goals. Instead, they are direct reactions to immediate experience. This is why he often feels inconsistent. But that inconsistency is intentional. It reflects a life where consistency was never taught or rewarded. What separates Denji from other modern shonen protagonists is not just his lack of ideals, but his relationship with them. Most current heroes are imperfect idealists. They struggle, fail, and doubt themselves, but they still orbit around a central moral structure. Even when broken, they are still trying to align with something greater than themselves. Denji does not orbit anything. He starts outside of that system entirely, and only gradually becomes aware that such systems even exist. This shift is important because it means his growth is not about refining a belief. It is about discovering whether he needs one at all. That creates a very different type of progression compared to traditional shonen arcs. Another key point is how Denji interacts with manipulation. Characters like Makima do not simply control him through force, they control him through definition. They give shape to what he believes he wants. But because Denji's desires are not rooted in ideology, they are unstable once he becomes aware of how they are influenced. The moment he begins to recognize the structure behind his own wants, that control starts to collapse. This is why Denji is difficult to categorize as either deep or simple. He is not written to deliver philosophical statements or emotional monologues. His depth comes from how raw and unfiltered his perspective is compared to other protagonists. He exposes the gap between desire and meaning in a way most shonen characters avoid entirely. Calling him the best shonen protagonist right now is less about superiority and more about contrast. In a genre where most main characters are built around evolving ideals, Denji represents something different: a protagonist built from the absence of them.